So this is in response to voice thread 2. Should future dangerousness risk assessment tools and techniques be admissible in court? I personally don't believe that they should be admissible in court because, as stated in the Pseudoscience in the Courtroom, Part 2, and the Accuracy, Fairness, and Limits of Predicting Recidivism video, they both point out that with risk assessment tools are typically either very inaccurate, filled with pseudoscience, or borderline racist and stereotypical. So, I don't think that it would be really, what's it called? It wouldn't be very valid or factual to have risk assessment tools and techniques in court. And I don't, however, there is one, risk assessment tool that I would gauge on using in court, and that would be psychologist testimony, only because the psychologist has clearly, they've been discussing with this person, and they have felt that there was an immediate danger for it to be brought up before anybody gets hurt and before the person gets hurt. So therefore, I think that a psychologist testimony should be used in court, but any other risk assessment tool and technique shouldn't be, because it's all based on pseudoscience and it's all based on just things like that, basically. And what are the implications of allowing or disallowing them as evidence? And should judges base sentencing decisions on the cycle? I think that judges shouldn't base their sentencing on the psychologist's testimony. I think, per se, that they should, keep it in the back of their head. They should say, oh, okay, so this is a support to all the other evidence. Because what is said in psychology, in a sit-down with a psychologist, could be things that they're just thinking about, or things that they actually didn't do, but they're just thinking about it. But in some senses, that it could actually be things that they actually did, like in the video of psychologists responsible for predicting violence with that shooter, and how she couldn't do that at the time. What are the implications? So the implications for me would just be making sure to factually check that this isn't pseudoscience and that there isn't any bias. Most of the times there is a lot of bias in risk assessments. So in the cases like psychologist testimony, there wouldn't be any bias. So thus it could be used in court. Rather than that, anything else with any bias at all shouldn't be used in court.